Get wach. Oh boy, I wasn't sure I was going to make it, guys, because
Even Victor's here.
Victor's here. Alles that you should do. I want you to know that.
Not showing the phone.
Turn it off.
How to turn it off? I don't know.
Okay, so I'm turning off my phone, so we shouldn't be disturbed. And I want to thank every one of you to be here. This is a unique Motzei Shabbos Shabbos Shuva Drosha that needs must, and we're living in a strange times. So let me just start. I said I was going to go off piece. I didn't script anything. I've written a couple of notes of a psikim that I saw. I want to share with you my thoughts on Yom Kippur, where we're holding in the world. I read an article in the Telegraph, not the Jewish Telegraph, the other one, written by a war correspondent who seems to have been in war fields, in battles in different areas of the world for many years. That's their forte, that's their expertise. And he writes that there's an interesting understanding of working in such an environment. They said that the first 6 months are pretty much, people can get through it, 6 months, but then they hit a wall, and the nerves and everything seems to come falling apart. So the person who wrote the article explains that their understanding of things, the first 6 months, people live with a lot of adrenaline, new ideas, new problems. It kicks in the adrenaline, and we're trying to figure out how to take the next step, the next day. Yes mask, no mask, where, when. After 6 months, the emotions just get stymied and broken, and it's just how much more we lose the ability, the elasticity. Last week was 6 months since the first lockdown, and it was brought to us that we'd have to face at least probably another 6 months, who knows more. And everyone is broken, and we have to find the reserves, and we have to figure out what Yom Kippur is going to do to give us these reserves. So I was just, you all know that I was in hospital. I'll give you an understanding of what it means to be in hospital at Rosh Hashanah. The week before, I had been working for months thinking the last Shabbos of the year, I wrote about it in one of my articles for those who happen to read them, that the last Shabbos of the year is a very special Shabbos. You could be misaken everything from the whole year with the last Shabbos of the year. So Baruch Hashem, the last Shabbos of the year, I was in hospital swamping with morphine because I had an attack with a gallstone. I didn't even know that was in existence, and I was in terrible pain. So that the last Shabbos of the year, I first made Kiddush at 3 o'clock in the afternoon because I wasn't allowed to take anything in my mouth. I had tubes running in all kinds of stuff. It seems that besides the gallstone, I happened to have septicemia of the blood, which seems to be, I mean, the doctors tell me that I was seriously ill. I understand it to be a very, I realize it was a very dangerous situation to be in. And it took them over a week to get all the poisons, and they just flooded me with antibiotics. 24 hours a day, there was these bags unloading the gift of life, but it's also strenuous for the body. Baruch Hashem, and then they did what they had to do with the gallstone, and we had the procedure. Hoidi Lashem Kitav Erev Rosh Hashanah, Reuven is coming home. And I call Motzei, my trusty friend, and he comes and he takes me by the hand, and everyone says goodbye to me, and I'm walking out. Hello, goodbye, there it is. I've seen you. You're all kind people, and they were all very kind people. Fine. NHS, You get my clap anytime. And then I get a phone call in the car. Now, generally speaking, my phone won't work when you're traveling. But because I wasn't driving, I took off that facility. So the phone rings and it's a no identity call. That usually means it's either the bank or a doctor. My luck, it was the hospital telling me they made a mistake. I have to go right back to the hospital. Erev Rosh Hashanah, I don't even have a red apple to eat with honey. And they turn me around and I go back to the hospital and I say, what's the problem? Seems that my kidneys have decided that with all the trauma that my body had taken, they happen to be wanting to take a holiday themselves. And there's a problem with the function of my kidneys. He said, you could walk out of here, but you'll be back in a couple of days and you'll be in renal failure. I said, no, that's not an option for me. So I'll stay with you guys. I love every one of you. So here I am, Rosh Hashanah. Luckily, I had my own, there was a one-room special that I was using. And it's all these funny paint color, like a beige color. I don't know what color the walls are. No one to visit me. Kids came just before this man with food, Baruch Hashem, that the nurses enjoyed because I couldn't eat anything. But it was all there, and I'm all alone with a little siddur that I have. Machzah. Just before Yom Tov set in, a very respected doctor spoke to me, a frum guy, a very big mentor that I love greatly. And he said, you know, there are hundreds of Jews in that hospital that don't even know they're Jewish. So probably you're there to bring a tikkun that they should be able to feel some kind of a thing about Rosh Hashanah. Maybe, ulai, who knows? At the time he said that I was too far into my own upset, I forgot to mention that the first day I came into the hospital in the emergency room, we were brought into a room to for the first examination. My Einikel Betzal noted, he said to me, you know which room this is? I said, no. He said, this is the room where Bubby was nifta. The same room, there was a little curtain between us and that place. So just maybe, the Eibishter wanted that I have to be masakin something for the Rebbetzin on Rosh Hashanah in the same hospital. So I sat there and I davened like I never davened before, because I thought to myself, this can't be the davening that I would have davened at home in shul with my chavayrim. Because if Hashem wanted that tefillah, I would have been at home with my chavayrim in shul. Instead, he put me in this barren place with a cover over myself, shivering from a fever, frightened, alone. So I have to daven for the whole hospital, for the neshama of the Rebbetzin who was there. I want to tell you that I had such a beautiful davening, especially the second day when my head was more clear. The first day my head was so unclear I could hardly daven, but the second day I got focused. This is for these people. And you want to know something? There were so many people who all of a sudden from nowhere, Jewish guys who didn't even know they were Jewish. By mistake, they said they were Jewish. I remember after Musaf on the second day, Yom Tov, a younger man, a Yid named Matt, who barely knows he's Jewish because he just mentioned it in a joke that we were talking about something. He comes walking in as I close the siddur. I say, Matt, do you know I've been davening a whole day for you? He looked at me. Rabbis are good people. He figures that's what rabbis say. Did he not know that I was davening for him a whole day? It's not, what was I doing there? So they let me out. I still have a problem with my kidneys. Slowly, hopefully, it will get better. But I'm speaking to you now with so much love and so much. I miss you all. But I want this Yom Kippur to be special because stuff is going on that never happened in the history of the world. Hashem is taking all the toys away from us. He's taking all the tchotchkes that we thought we must have all the time, the trips and the chasnas and the overshlug that fill up your whole brain and your machshava till you can't think straight. And you forget kaviyuchel that the Eibishter wants only one thing, he wants our heart. So this year we have to take away all the narishkeiten, all the machloikes, all the bickering, all the energy that is bad in our lives, and focus it only for positive things, for love for Hashem and love for Yiddishkeit and love for each other. And this is the tachnit from this Yom Kippur more than any Yom Kippur. Al chait on all the things that I broke other people with. Al chait and all the times I forgot that the Chavi Yuchel feared the bell. Sorry, I'm trying. Steht in the Torah, V'anoichi hestas the punai b'yoyim hahu, Hashem is hidden from us. So the Shpola Zayda, the hestas is this, that the Eibishter says, I am hidden in those who want to let me hide in them. Hashem is hidden when we refuse to accept him. But if we open our hearts and say, Hashem, come to me. Oh, I'm open for you. I'm here for you. Allow me to bring you into myself. Then there's no Hester. Because then we have Hashem within ourselves. Gewalt. But you know what that means. So another pshat in the same pasuk. I'm reading here from the Heilige Yinger Rebbe from the Vulka, and he explains that the pshat is like this: that the Eibishter Behaltzach, he hides himself, and he says to me, he's crying out, "Come to me, find me." He says that a marshal children play hide and seek. And what happens? One of the children is hiding, and he's so proud of his hidden place. He cries out, "Ha ha! You can't find me. Here I am. Look at me. Find me." And we follow the voice, and there he is. Says Hashem, "I'm hiding. Ha ha! I'm hiding. Follow my voice. Following my simon. Following the Torah. Following my opportunities to you to daven in Yiddishkeit, and you will find me." There's no Hester. Hashem is there, waiting for us to caress him. Oh, we're so broken. 6 months, it's not even near the end, but we will get there. That the article that I read, I mentioned earlier, says we should take time out of our days to think and to relax just a bit. I know it's hard. And I speak especially, there are ladies who are here tonight. I want you to hear this. It's you, the mamas. You have to reach out to kids, give them the caress. The kids need to be hugged. I know there's bubbles and there's all problems. I saw my ear, I can't touch them. It drives me nuts. But you're in your bubble, you have your children. Now's the time. I tell you something. Rebbetzin, Shulim. We had the thing. I lived in this house. I lived in all the houses that we lived in throughout my time in Rabbanis. And the thing was like this. There was one room that was usually the smallest room, a little box room like this one I'm in now. That was called Zaidi's room. Everything else more or less belonged to Bubby. But the most important room that Bubby had was Bubby's bedroom. As if I slept in the hall someplace. It was Bubby's bedroom. And in Bubby's bedroom, every child and then every Einikel found a place to sit at Bubby's bed and talk about deep things and bond about süße Sachen and just share. And I had no place in that room because this was Bubby's place to give her children, her Einikel. And I remember even as children got married into the family, They would sit at the door, they would stand at the door the first few times. Then they would slowly move into the room. And finally they would find the place on the bed and they would join the club. Because that was Bubby's love for her children and her Einikla, and the Einikla. We all have to make a place called Mommy's Bubby's room, where all our children can feel the comfort and the support and the shielding in these rough times. Sweet Eden, this is what Hashem wants from us. He's calling out to us. We can't, we can't, some of us pretend it's not happening. It's like you're sitting on a ship and it's floating in the ocean. You can't make a hole in that boat and say, it's only my hole, it's my private place. I don't have to worry, because you will flood everybody. We all have to take on that. We are in a time of secondas nevoshos. Amazing problems are going on. Look at the numbers. Just listen. I was in the hospital. I saw them panicking. The ICU was getting filled up. We had to wait for different things to happen. The nursing staff was worked off. They couldn't do that. It was unbelievable. So don't tell me there's nothing going on. But the ship is going to float with all of us or none of us. So I'm asking you all, and open your eyes. Even if you're right and there's no pandemic, yeah? But Efshedoch, maybe there is. The numbers don't seem to think that, so we have to be careful. We have to create positive energy. We can't fight and disturb each other and disagree with everything. And that's that. The Aish is calling out to you. He's taking everything else away. We need some clarity. There's a word from the Heilige Greitzer Rebbe. He writes that, I'm just trying to find it, I don't want to misspin. He says like this, he says that he was asked once to say over a word from his Rebbe, the rabbinical worker on Yom Kippur, and he said that that in Shabbos Shuva, when the Rebbe, he heard this following shot from his Rebbe, that when it says, I'm just trying to find the pasuk exactly, in Hazinu, Moshe Rabbeinu gave over, he said, Hashemayim, that the heavens should be witness and the earth should listen. What's going on here? He's saying that the heavenly should be, listen to my words, you heavenly people, you tzaddikim, you're speaking, you're Moshe Rabbeinu. Those are my words. And the earth, those people who aren't tzaddikim, who are pedestrian, but when they daven to Hashem, my words, Moshe Rabbeinu, it's as if Moshe Rabbeinu is speaking. This year, we're all Moshe Rabbeinus. We're all speaking to Hashem. What more could I ask of you? What more could we ask of Hashem? Zah Moshe Rabbeinu. We get through this Yom Suf. We're going to get through Mitzrayim. I knew Yidden that went through everything. I wrote about it this week. Above, I saw things, especially Yidden, who had gone through everything. How did they have the koyach? Because they saw Moshe Rabbeinu's words. They understood that their tefillahs have the koyach of Moshe Rabbeinu, because it's our energy that's keeping the world going. At the end of Yom Kippur, after such an avodah, I used to be in Bubble. I remembered the avodah. We spoke about it in the article, beginning with the toilets, with the oizeru, the tzaddik, and the Rub's tränen and tears. The whole Yom Kippur, the davening, and It was just like you were living in a different realm, in a different place. At the end of the davening, at the end of all of it, Ma'ariv is finished and everyone is singing and dancing. And the Reuven would go past everybody and stop at every single Jew and say, Gitwa, Gitjur, sonst haben als Gits ausgebeten. Sonst haben als Gits ausgebeten. What does that mean? In Yiddish, that means you should have everything that you prayed for should be true, should come to you. Als Gits ausgebeten. You want everything that you needed. It's a strange blessing to give another Jew because we've already done the davening. So if I've received the right tshuva from Hashem, the right answer from Hashem, it's already a done deal. So why are you saying Zoltuten you should have? Als Gits ausgebeten. I have it already. That it was sealed. Yom Kippur. Baruch Hashem. And he used to say it with such a heart that you felt the whole, yeah, it's going to be great now. So what do those words mean? So the tzaddikim explained that it means that for the whole year, the hashpah, the power, the energy, the spirituality of Yom Kippur should always be with you. Alt Gits, that good that you have done on Yom Kippur by clearing it all away, getting rid of all the riffraff, getting rid of all the broken type, taking away the shards that have been broken around you and all the nudnik, and just seeing the clarity that we need so much koyach at this time in our life. That will stay with you for the rest of the year, and we will get through all this. Please, Hashem. I asked my sweet friends, I can't see who you are, but they're there. I just winch you. I bless you. I have brochas hedjit. I'm a nobody. I'm just a guy who sat in a hospital on Rosh Hashanah. And I'm telling you, I'm with you. We're going to get through this. So we'll fast, we'll get through it, and we'll grow because we'll take all the energy that's in us and withstand it all and grow with it and persevere above it. And Hashem will smile and he'll be in your heart. There'll no longer be any hestapon. Sweet Yidden. So each and every one of you. I love all of you. Lamaham, Silas, Toivas, Yeshiyas, and Lefias.